Part 2, June 26th, 2022. Deuteronomy 10, verses 12 and following. Ve'ata, Israel, ma Yahweh Eloheka, shall ma amka. Now, Israel, what? Mem, Yahweh your Elohim ask. Then this word mem, ayin, mem, kaf. You look at that and you go, mem is a place of being, putting something into a noun state, you might say. Kaf means you, and ayin, mem is the word for people. And when he says, I will be your Elohim, and you will be my people, I can read this word, regardless of how they translated it, mem, ayin, mem, kaf. It's, what does this mean if I say, I'm his people? I want to be your people. Well, what's he asking? You may have a religion that says, he doesn't ask anything of you, just believe. Oh, really? Just believe. Yeah, we'll look at that in a moment. That's in Genesis 15, that was the verse 9, I think. And Abraham believed, and it was attributed or credited to him as righteousness. Hey, Aleph Mem Nun. He believed. Well, what does that mean? I'm suggesting these 22 alphabet letters appropriated to verbs is what it means to have Aleph Mem Nun. Okay, now he's going to tell us. Ki am, this only to fear Yahweh your Elohim. Lamed Yod Resh Aleph Hey, Yirah. But Resh Aleph Hey also means see, perceive on exhibition. To fear what he allows you to perceive, to not just fear him like, oh, be afraid, he's a scary guy, give him respect and honor. What has he put on exhibition? What has he displayed? Well, he gave us his words. So to just fear him without regarding his words isn't what that means. To walk, lamed, lamed, kaf, tav. Well, lamed is the prefix, tav is the suffix, lamed, kaf. That's the word, hey, lamed, kaf, halakha, walk in all his derek. Lalakat, they call derekio. Derek is way, conduct, journey, manner, path, how to bend a bow. So when he says to walk in all his ways, what are his ways? Truth, kindness, emet chesed, righteousness, zadikah, caring for the widow and orphan, forgiving one another. Gee, how many more ways is there? Sit down on Shabbat and keep his moedim and trust in his name? Hey, we just had a list of 22. That's his ways. Where's the problem? Well, it may be a problem for other religions of other gods, but this is, remember, this is the land of make-believe of Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel, who said what he wants us to do is have a honor and a regard, fearing him of what he puts on exhibition and walking in his ways. Ve la ahava ato, to love him. How do you love him? By walking in his ways. Ve la obed et Yahweh Eloheka, to obey, to worship Yahweh Elohim. Ve kol avivkahu, ve kol nafsheka, with all your heart and soul. And how do you obey and worship him? By doing what he said, by walking in his ways. Giving him fear and honor as if he was worth listening to his voice. And his voice is not in English or Latin or Greek, or it's in Hebrew. That's what he gave us to perceive. That's what he put on exhibition. His voice. Remember, Mount Sinai, you heard words with all your heart and all your soul. That's you mustering. That's back there, remember, the letter Vav in Zion. Seeking, seizing, pursuing with all your heart and all your soul. So right here, he says in verse 12, this is what it means to be his people. Verse 13, la shamar, oh, to watch, keep in guard, et mitzvot, oh, what do you know? He has commands. Mem zadi vav tav, Yahweh va et chok. Okay, now we're getting down to the legal stuff. Mitzvot and choktio. Commands and decrees, that which I am commanding this day. Oh, but it's letov lecha, for your good. We talked about that last week. We've been told by certain even Torah teachers, so-called, that he gave us bad laws nobody can live by. But here Moshe says, I'm commanding you for good, for your good, so that you can live. Walk in these ways for your good. So if somebody else wants to believe in a God that gave us bad laws nobody can live by, in this land of make-believe, I choose to believe that the Elohim of Israel, named Yahweh Elohim Zavot, gave us mitzvot and chok for our good, so that if we walk in them, remember what we talked about last week? That it does two things. Remember, Agur said, two things, please get it out of my life, out of my soul. Vain, worthless, nothing, stupid, nonsense, and deception. And Yahweh says, oh, I gave you chok, so that if you walk in my chok, it'll accomplish the two things. On the one, it'll give you access to the secret refuge of sure protection, and it'll also be an expectorant by which you will cough up the phlegm of deception. Just do what I said. He gave us chok and mitzvot, which if we shema, shomer, halakha, and asha, it'll be good. We'll live, we'll get rid of the deception, and we'll have access to protection. Oh, wonderful. Verse 14. Hen, hey noon, behold, here gladly. La Yahweh Elohicha, belonging to Yahweh your Elohim. Lamed is the possessive prefix. The heavens, Hashemayim. And then here's a strange word. Yod, Shin, Mem, Yod. Well, Shin, Mem, Yod prefix, Yod suffix. He will. That's third person reference. But myself, Yod, it means he possesses it. And the word Shem, it means here or there. It means place, name, fame, emplacement. Hashemayim ha'eretz ve'kol asher ba, the heavens, the earth, and everything that is in them. What about the devil, the ruler of the world? You know, that guy that everybody says owns the world and rules it. No diablo? There's no place for the devil? Gee, what do you know? In this world of make-believe, I choose to believe what this says in verse 14, where Moshe says, Yahweh is Kanash Shemayim ve'aretz. He's the maker of heaven and earth, thus the possessor, and he owns everything in them. He has arranged it all, he's established it all, and what he wants, what he desires, what he craves is a people that will listen to his voice and do what he says. And if any other people group in any other religion, whether they're Jews or Christians or Muslims or Hindus or Buddhists, if they don't want to believe that, they can believe whoever they want. But I'm going to choose to believe that this world is the reality. Page 2, Deuteronomy 10, verse 15. Only, Resh Kuf, only with your fathers, Chosek, Het, Shin, Kuf, delight, pleasure, love, pressed together, lustful, covetous, attached to, joined Yahweh to love them. Them, Aleph, Vav, Tav, Mem. Wait a minute, that's an oath, a promise according to the letters of the alphabet. Bechar, and he chose, selected, Bezeram, their offspring. Hey, that's us in the future. Achriham. That if they would follow me, Achri means Achar, following me. If they would follow me, if the seed of those fathers that Yahweh delighted to press himself together with, according to the oath, symbolized by the letters of the alphabet, Bakam Machal Ha'amim, the condition of you beyond the condition of any other people group, Kayom Hazah, like this day. What this means is that you can't read about other people groups, other cultures, other civilizations, other empires, or watch a movie about them to calculate what it means to be his people. We can't watch other movies of what other people who don't believe him say in their doctrines to find out what we should be doing, because in this little fantasy world, Yahweh loves this people, and Yahweh will relate to us Just like he said, whether anybody else gets it or not, whether anybody else can say, yeah, but look what happened this time and that time, doesn't matter. What we have is these words. Verse 16, Ve'meltam et aralat lavev kam ve'chraf kam lo takosho od. It says something about circumcising your heart, but it's a little different way. Vav mem lamed tav mem. Well, mem lamed or mem lamed lamed means word, speech. It also means wither, decay, scrape, frayed hem. Mem lamed vav he means accompanied by music. Mem lamed aleph means fullness. Then there's this aleph tav sitting all by itself. The word ayin resh lamed means Gentile, unpruned, uncircumcised, poison. Lamed bet bet is heart, inner heart, your kaf mem, your inner heart. Wait a minute. See, it's translated, you should circumcise your heart. And then this word chraf is where you get the word giraffe, you know, the guy with the big long neck. And it means literally back of the neck, a broken neck, beheaded, lay your neck down and get your head chopped off. And then blood drips out, so it means to drip or drop, and it means behind the front lines. Lo, that means no or not, and then tav kuf shin vav. Kuf shin is, you get the word for straw, means stiff, hard, difficult, severe, cruel, fierce. Ayin vav dalet is where you get the word od. Ayin dalet is witness. Ayin vav dalet means again and again, repeatedly, forcefully, again and again, ever again, never again. What is this saying? Let's go back to the previous verse, 15. You are different than any of the other people groups. I'm telling you today, you've seen it today, it's in your family history. You're different than any of the people groups. Verse 16, but their speech, accompanied by music, is poison, Gentile, uncircumcised. It will poison your heart. They will behead you. This is not difficult to understand. They do it every time. They lie about who is Yahweh and what is his relationship with his people called Israel. If they are a different God with different rules, different instructions, and a different form of relationship, then it's not Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel. Whoever, whatever it is unpruned, uncircumcised Gentile. It's designed to erode, fray, scrape the frayed hem. The frayed knot that Greg was talking about earlier. I don't know if that was recorded. Maybe people have missed it. The fullness of their speech, even if accompanied by music, if it's not aleph tav, it's poison to your heart, and you'll lose your head. It's severe. They do it every time. Verse 17. However, Yahweh your Elohim, he it is the Elhi ha-Elohim, the God of gods. Ve-Adonai ha-Adonim, Lord of lords. Ve-El ha-Gadol ha-Gabor ha-Norah, the majestic and large, the valiant, heroic, the illuminated, fearsome, awesome, spectacular. What more do we need? Asher lo yisa penim velo ichok shachad. What does that mean? The one who lo yisa panav. Well, wait a minute. Remember the Aaronic benediction. It says vekaneka isa Yahweh panav aleka. The same phrase. He will lift up his face. And now it says he will not lift up his face. And he says it will not Yod Kuf Het, that's to seize or take hold, Shin Het Dalet, Shin Het Dalet. Aleph, Het Dalet is the word one. Shin is a prefix letter that means in the condition. Het Dalet means hid. He will not take hold of something hidden. That's like bribery or extortion. What's this saying? Yahweh will not deceive us by turning his face, vacating his regard of what he looks at. But wait a minute, he already told us that what he looks at is one who will listen to his voice and do what he said, one who walk in his ways and do his chok. But we've been told that because Jesus died on the cross, he got paid off to not care anymore. He doesn't take a bribe, even if the bribe is Yeshua dying on the cross. He will not turn his face. But we're told, oh yeah, he doesn't do that stuff anymore. We've been lied to. Last 2 weeks we've been talking about that. Is that what this verse means? Verse 16 and 17. Who is Yahweh? The Gadol, the Gabor, the Norah. And he, the word panim, penun, means empty, at leisure, removed, vacated, turned, disengaged, to be free from. The word yod shin aleph hey means bring to ruin, lay waste, crash into ruins. It's to astonish, wonder, be amazed, or stand empty of thought. He will not bring empty thoughts and remove or disengage his face from what he's already told us. I can sit here and argue with any other belief system and say, nah, Yahweh does this. He doesn't do what you're saying. I don't have to argue with them. This is the land of make-believe. I can make believe that Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel, will not bring his face to ruin. The face that he described was words that he will never disengage from. He will not be bribed by even Jesus dying on the cross to let go of the matters he told us to not let go of. Okay. Page 3, verse 18. Asha mishpat. Do justice. That's what the Elohim of Israel requires of us. Yatom, to the orphan. Ve'almanah, to the widow. Ve'ahav gar, love the stranger. Latat lo lachem ve'shamala. Provide the stranger bread and clothing. Ve'ahav tam et hagar, and love them, the stranger. Why? Love the stranger? Those aliens coming in at the southern border? Are you kidding me? Because Garim, Hayatam, you yourselves were strangers and foreigners in the land of Egypt. He did that on purpose, just to teach us a lesson. Be kind and considerate to the foreigner. You yourselves are foreigners. You might be again someday, and the measure you use, it's measured to use. Is that a voice we hear? Give the stranger bread and clothing. That's what the Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel, wants to do. Verse 20, Et Yahweh Eloheka Tayira, fear him, obed vebo, obey, worship him, and dabak, dalet bet kuf, there's that bear claw, cling, vebeshem teshuvah. Swear in his name, but shin berayin is the word 7. It means also to be satisfied or fulfill or be content. Find your contentment in his name. Find the satisfaction of everything you are, everything you're about, and everything you hope for, clinging to his name. Did he have a name? Remember that song, Cecil's Hallelujah by Cedar and Sage? One of the things they put there, and they show these big cathedrals and say, why didn't you tell me he had a name? If it says in the book of Joel, whoever calls on the name of Yahuwah will be saved. But if you take away his name, it's been lost for 2,300 years, don't you know? Since 285 BC, the writing of the Septuagint. If we can't call in his name, then how can we cling to his name, and how can we be content and satisfied in his name? We've been lied to and ripped off. Verse 21. Kwa ta helatka. It exists, your radiance, and he is your Elohim. Vahua elheka asher asha ata. That does, osha, produces with you et ha gedolat. He will produce with you, through you, by you, compelling you to produce the Gadol, the great, exalted, magnified, va'et hanora, the spectacular, ha'ala asher resh alafav, the spectacular things that he exhibited in your eyes, ayanika. Everything you have seen, he wants to do with us and through us. And yet we've been told it's all done away with. Imagine that. Page 4. Ve'ahavta et Yahweh Eloheka. Love Yahweh Elohim. Ve'shamar mashamarto. Guard what he said to guard. Ve'chokteo. Ve'mishvat. Ve'matzot. Kol ha'imim. All the days, every day. Everything he said, guard what he said to guard, is the loving him. His chetkuf, his mishvat, and his mem zadivav. Whatever he said to do, do. Why are we told there is no law? Different God, different religion. Yahweh, the Savior, Redeemer of Israel, says to do these things. We do these things, we have success. Jumping down, that's verse 1 of Deuteronomy 11. Jump down to verse 8 of Deuteronomy 11. Veshamar et kol ha-mitzvot. Guard all his commands. That's what this Elohim says of us. Asher anki mitzveka hayom. That I'm commanding you today that you guard the commands, Moshe speaking, so that, answer, reply, responding, chazak. Oh, so that we'll be strengthened. And bet aleph tav mem. And when we come into the land that we're crossing over there to possess, you will yod resh shin tav. Those are the last three letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Resh shin tav. It means net, trap, snare, seize, possess, authorized, licensed, permitted. Imagine this. We do what he says, and we dispossess the inhabitants of the land, and we're strengthened to be above their traps. Whose interest do you think it is to tell Israel not to do what Yahweh says? That there's nothing to do, that he did away with all the commands to do something. Whose interest is it? By the enemies, it'll be dispossessed. Imagine that. Verse 13, it exists. Am shema tashemaha. It exists if we listen to what he said to listen to. The mitzvot, mem zadivav. There's that word. Why does that word zadivav keep showing up? Because he said to do something. He said to listen to his command. And every time we're told, no, don't listen to his command, it's the voice of the enemy trying to deceive us. Remember, Moses said his last words last week. Your enemy will try to deceive you, disappoint you, deny. They'll pretend that they're one of you and then say, yeah, I don't know. And they'll sneak in like the serpent in the garden and say, did Yahweh really mean that? I don't think so. And they'll put seeds of doubt drip by drip in our mind and we'll throw it all away. This is all this is talking about. If we listen to what he said, listen to, command what I am commanding you today, Lamed Aleph He Bet He, to love. It's not just to love Yahweh, it is the loving. Loving Yahweh means doing what he said to do. At Aleph Tav Yahweh Eloheka, and it is the worship. Lamed Ein Bet Dalet Vav. Singing songs to him is not worshiping him. Doing what he said is worshiping him. Bekol lavevkam vabekol nafshakam, with all your heart and all your soul. Going back to there with at the Vav and the Zion on page 11, seize, take hold, cling, seek, quest, examine, pursue, learn, deep study, erudite scholarship. Take these things seriously. That's loving him. That's worshiping him. That's Deuteronomy 11, verse 13. Page 5. Warning. Hey, Shin Mem Resh Vav. Hashamar is the word shamar is watch, keep guard, but it's also warning. Take heed, lakam, for yourselves, lest perhaps, that's peinun. Remember peinun? Well, that's the word for face, but also means disengaged, bachelor. You don't have any other concerns, lest perhaps yod peitav hey. Well, peitav hey, peitav het is something that opens. Mem peitav het is the key. Peitav hey means a fool, deceived, enticed by something alluring. Lavev kam, lest your heart is deceived. And here's an active thing that happens. Samik resh tav mem. Vav samik resh tav mem. Samik resh resh, stubborn, rebellious, stench, sin, putrid. Samik resh yod hey, series joined together, combine, sermon, serious, sorry. This is all analyzing this word. Joined together, coat of mail. Samik resh tet, film, ribbon, comic strip, lines. It's where you get the word sorry. It's where you turn a different way. Lest your heart turns and you obed Elohim Achrim. There's that Elohim Achrim again. Translate gods of others or other gods. Anything other than what we were told with mitzvot and chok. And then here's the word vav he shin tav chet vav yod tav mem. Big long word. Shin tav chet. Well, you'll find it if you look in the dictionary at he shin tav chet. It means to bow down. Shin tav is to be intoxicated. Chet vav yod tav means experienced. Lamed he mem, of them. You know, I was at a church for a while, over a few years, and they were talking about being drunk in the spirit. So it's supposed to be a good thing. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. It was quite an experience, jumping and laughing and jiving and barking and rolling and crying. And is that of Yahweh? I don't know. I don't know if it's of Yahweh. It sure looked like they were having an experience of intoxication and kind of bowing down to some Elohim with different boundaries. The word tav chet vav mem is boundary. Here we got a sheen prefix, tav chet vav yod tav mem, bunch of other letters. Boundary, confines, limit, domain, circumscribed. It's kind of a different circus, a different circle, a different kirk, a different church, all the same word, than to be the people who obed, walking lacha with all their heart and all their soul, the chok, the mitzvot, the mishpat of Yahuwah. Where's the make-believe land? Is it this circus, or is it Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel? Verse 17 of Deuteronomy 11. Vachar, anger, af Yahweh, the nose, the anger, burning of Yahweh against you. They ayin zadi resh, closing the heavens so there won't cause to be rain, and the land it won't yield its fruit, and exterminate, cut off. Aleph, bet, dalet, obed, abed, mem, hey, resh, hey. Hey, resh is mountain. Hey, resh, hey is something evident, like being pregnant. Mem, hey, resh, hey is quickly or speedily. Mem, vav, resh is change, exchange, convert. Ma'al ha'aretz, from the earth, ha-tova, the goodly that Yahweh gave to you. What he's saying is, if we find ourselves going astray and he shuts off the rain, So the land doesn't produce its fruit, so it looks like a famine, it looks like a drought, it looks like California in 2022. Oh, that's okay. The scientists do cloud seeding now and chemtrails and geoengineering so that they can control the weather. But Yahuwah is saying he controls the weather and the rain, and if he cuts it off, it's to get our attention. Yeah, but if we as scientists, we don't need attention. Yeah, okay. Verse 18. Vashem tam et dabri Allah el lavivka ve'el nafshika. Shem, name, place, renown. The remembering the renown of my word, these, upon your heart and upon your soul. Ve kuf shin resh tav mem. Kurash, connection, conspiracy, in league, bound together, tied, strongly knit. That's playing off that word for sorry, joined together, coda male, combine. Aleph tav mem laot. Laot, lamed aleph vav tav, oath, sign, symbol, letters of the alphabet. Al yod dalet kaf mem, your arm, vav hey yod vav, and exist, lamed tet vav tet pei tav, tut fat. That's the band, the phylactery. It's like a ring on a bird's leg. Tet yod pei, in the dictionary, related words, this is tet vav tet pei tav, stand for portable stove, typhoon, type, model, typical, pattern, totem, total, tut. What I'm saying is that even in English, get these words between your eyes. It says this will be as an oath. So you have the Jews that do the phylactery and the tefillin. Be bound with the letters as the oath of your arm, your strength, your, remember, we're talking about the letter bet, the opening up of your id, and that this will be this model pattern, like a ring on a bird's leg, carrier pigeon, owned like a wedding ring, sealed by tet, like a wedding ring between your eyes, the understanding of all your reality, the land of make-believe. Let these letters of his words be your entire world of your heart and your soul, your hand and your eye. It's all tied to language. Verse 19, Deuteronomy 11. Valamed, teach, learn, repeat, atem, them, et, benikam, to your children, la dabar, as words, ba, bet mem, their own words. Let them be your children's own words, not some foreign, not, oh yeah, Hebrew, that's them Jews. Bet shin bet tav kaf, when you sit down, when you Shabbat, be betka, in your house, ve belachat, when you walk, be derek, on your way, in your generation. Dalet resh, generation, dalet resh kaf, your generation, but it's also your way. Va bet, shin kaf bet, when you lie down, ve bekum ka, when you rise up. Be obsessed with these. He's telling us what to do. So, warning, make this your obsession. Oh, come on. Can't you talk about anything else? You want to succeed or not? Make this your obsession. Teach them to your children. Would you rather talk about Disney movies? Would you rather talk about Marvel comics? Would you rather talk about stupid things from other nations that are all a bunch of lies? Verse 20, Deuteronomy 11, page 6. Vekatub al mazuzot, write them on the doorposts, betka, your house, ve besharika, and upon your gates. But the word gate also is reckon, assess, appraise, value. It's a synonym with Eric. It's a synonym with the word oil. Write them and comprehend the value. See, that's you doing this with your intelligence, your intellect, your processing, your shakil. It's not being brain dead, and it's not Gnosticism. But we've been led astray to avoid all these things. Verse 21, Deuteronomy 11, Lama an. Therefore, as a result, the response is ayin nun. Remember, ayin nun hey is to respond, is to reply, is to give answer. Yod resh bet vav, multiply, increase in importance your days in the days of your children upon the land that swore Yahweh to your fathers to give to them. Kaf yod mem yod, that's like water, the heavens upon the earth. We talked about Father's Day last week, that he swore to our fathers. It is Yahweh's pleasure to turn this all around, but he hasn't been able to because he swore that it's a reciprocal action of our attention. So we've been told for all these thousands of years to pay no attention. Like at the very beginning, what was it, Diana said, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, a famous quote from the Wizard of Oz. That is so significant that they put that. The word Oz, remember, is ayin Zion, and it's the word of spectacular grandeur, the word for goat. Verse 22, Ki am shamar. So in this little land of make-believe, if we guard, if we do, if we listen to what he said to listen to, if we guard what he said to guard, all et kol ha-mitzvot, all the commandments, hazat, these, this, that I am commanding you to do, la ayin shin tav hey, it is the loving, la ahava et Yahweh Eloheka. How do you love Yahweh your Elohim? Gee, it's a feeling in my heart. No, it's doing what he said to do. It's singing him songs. No, it's guarding his mitzvot. It's realizing he said to do something. Well, what did he say to do? Tend the orphan and the widow, sit down on the Shabbat, keep his Moedim, learn his language, his name. Oh, there's these 20 different verbs. That's what he said to do. Walking in all his way. La lechat bekol derekyo, vela, again, this word dalet bet kuf, cling like a bear claw to him. Verse 22, Deuteronomy 11. Vav, hey vav resh yod shin. There's resh shin. Dispossess, drive out, pay, take possession. Yahuwah kol ha-goyim ha-Allah. He's going to dispossess all the nations. Me lifnekam, from before your face. That's why they don't want us to know this stuff. Vav yod reshin tav mem. There's reshin tav again. Licensed, authorized, permitted. Goyim, nations. Gadolim, great, raised up. Ve atzem, strong, hard, durable, bone ossified. Me come. They're bigger nations, stronger nations, more important nations, wealthier nations. But they don't have this promise. All they have is to lie to us to throw the promise away. That's page 6. Page 7, Deuteronomy 11, verse 24. Vekol ha-makom asher taderek kaf regal kam. In every place that you walk with the sole of your foot. Lakam ye min midbar. To you it exists. From the wilderness, the Lebanon, the river, Euphrates, until the sea, the future exists, your border. Lebanon is white and clean. Midbar is language, word, stipulations. River is shining, beaming, flowing. Euphrates is fruitful. There's a different way to read these things, but he's basically saying the future border is beautiful, clean language, fruitful, shining, beaming, flowing. But they have had our forefathers throw it all away as if it was ugly, dirty nothingness. Verse 25, Lo Yod Tav Yod Zadi Bet. See, there's Zadi Bet. That's the word for stand or the army. No standing, a man in your presence fear and dreading you at the exhibition. He will give teeth, Yahweh Elohim, upon the face of the earth, all that walk Bet-Hey in her Ka'asher Debar Lakam. If we walk the way we were told, Yahweh will put the fear and dread of us in the face of every man in every country on the face of the earth. I could choose to believe this. This is the land of make-believe. So regardless of what is going on in the news, whatever is going on in the movies and TV, I can sit here and say, in this little world, Yahweh is my Elohim, I am his Kadoshi Israel, and he's going to put a fear and dread of me and us because we're walking in his ways. And we were told that he didn't have any ways to walk in, but that's a big dirty lie. And so we're going to walk in his ways, which is these 22 verbs that he said to regard. Verse 26, see, I am giving you face today, blessing and curse. I'm laying it right out in front of you. Verse 27, et habarakah, asher shema, the blessing if you listen. Toward the mitzvot of Yahweh Eloheka, that I am mitzvahing you today. Commands. One thing, remember that they said no commands. He said the blessing is if you listen to the commands. And the curse, verse 28, Hai kuf lamed lamed, if you don't listen, don't listen. Blessing, curse. They do away with the commands and tell us to worship because Jesus died on the cross. No law, no commands. That's a lie. That brings the curse. El mitzvot Yahweh Eloheka, I'm commanding you to turn from the way. If they can trick us to turn from the way, we get cursed. Asher Anoki mitzvot, that I'm commanding atam today, such that you are walking achri, that's follow me, Elohim achrim, asher lo yada. Isn't it interesting that Jesus said to his disciples, follow me? Yahweh said that to Israel, follow me. If Jesus said to his disciples, follow me, and he leads them astray, he's an Elohim achrim. Yahusha would say, follow me as I do the things I see my Father doing and say the things I hear my Father saying, and that would not be Elohim achrim. So I have to redefine who is Yeshua and what did he say and what did he mean? Okay, page 8, Deuteronomy 4:23. Now we're jumping back to Deuteronomy 4. We talked about this last week, but just for the purpose. Beware for yourself, Hashemar, there's the word Shema again, lest you forget, Shin Kaf Chet, forget, oblivion in amnesia, the Brit of Yahweh, your Elohim, that he cut with you, and make for yourselves Pei Somic Lamed, Pesal, Tav Mem Vav Nun Tav. Image, likeness, form, description, geometric picture of anything or everything that Zadi Vav Kaf, as Yahweh has commanded you. Pei Somic Lamed is the word that means idol, a sculptor, image, unfit, sculpted chips, becoming disqualified, worthless, waste, refuse. If you're a sculptor who makes an image and ends up with a bunch of wood chips or sawdust, that's the unfit, worthless waste, and you become disqualified. That's like Yahweh saying to the 5 bridesmaids, I never knew you. It's like him separating the sheep from the goats and say, I don't know you. You were never mine. As an artist, Aleph Mem Vav Nun, artist, craftsman, Amuna. Abraham had Aleph Mem, Hey Aleph Mem Nun. That's the word for amen, so be it. It's the word for faith. It's the word for belief. And this Tav Mem Vav Nun Tav is a related word. So here I did this little written out as a study on this, the page 8. The same derivative word for image or likeness, form, or description is faithful, trained, educated, skilled, artisan, craftsman, confidence, fidelity, trustworthy, firm, steadfast. The word aleph, mem, nun, amen, truth, believe, trusted, specialist, master, workman. And it's also similar to the word in Zechariah 2, that little 2-verse thing of the chareshim, skilled craftsman. If you look at the word hey, mem, vav, nun, hamon, you get confusion, popular, vulgar, for the masses. Hey, mem, mem, confused, noise, tumult, stunned, terrified. Hey, yod, mem, nun, that's where we get the word for hymn, Hymn, a song and praise of gods or heroes. Also the word for hymen, wedded, fidelity. It's a bridal song of loyalty. And why does the Jewish bride walk around her husband 7 times? 7 is to swear a vow of fidelity. That's what the Moedim is. That's what the Shabbat is. A hymn of fidelity. If you make a sculpted image, even if you're a skilled artisan, you become disqualified. He never knew you. Why do we have a picture of Jesus hanging on a cross as a crucifix? Why do we have paintings of faces of Jesus? I'm not even going to go there. I will not have a painting or an image, because the Elohim of Israel said, no image, you heard a voice. Not a man or a woman, not a reptile, an animal, a bird, a fish, you heard a voice. Words, letters. The Elohim of Israel is words and letters. Deuteronomy 7:12. Exist, Akov, Ayin Kuf Bet, reward following when you Shema, Aleph Tav, the Mishpat, these, and Shamar Ashe, Tam, doing them. Veshamar Yahweh Elohecha Lachat et Brit, when you guard and observe for yourself the covenant, you get the chesed, Chet Samek Dalid, the reward, like the word Jacob, Ayin Kuf Bet. This is verse 12 of Deuteronomy 7. The reward for listening to the mishpat, the balanced scales, guarding and doing them, and shomering the Brit, is you get chesed of Yahweh that he swore to your forefathers. That's a promise. That's balanced scales of justice. Yahweh said, you listen, you get my chesed. You guard my chok, you walk in my ways, and everything I promised your forefathers is true. And everything we've been told is that it was done away with, nailed to the cross, and if we do regard it, we're sinning, and we have hell to pay for being Judaizers, being lied to by our enemies. Verse 13. Vav ahaveka ve bereka ve ravka, he will love you and bless you and multiply you. Can it be any more clear? Got to find page 9. I got these things kind of jumbled up. Page 9. Deuteronomy 8, verses 1, 2, and 3. All the mitzvot that I am mitzvahing you today, shomer la ashat, guard and do, because then chayon, living, they ravitam, and multiplying, they bo, coming into the inheritance as promised, the land that Shabbat swore Yahweh unto your forefathers. How many times does he have to say this? We're going over again and again and again. Ayin Vav Dalet, repeatedly and forcefully. How many times does the Elohim of Israel have to say this to his people, and they just don't get it? Verse 2 of Deuteronomy 8. Vazekart, remember, et kol ha-dareka. Remember the entire path, the journey. That's why we read the Torah. That's why some people don't regard the Torah. That holika, that you halakad with Yahweh your Elohim this 40 years in the midbar, in the wilderness, because Ayin Nun Tav Mem oppressed Lamed Nun Samek Tav Mem, Nun Samek Tav Kaf, to test you, to try you. What? Yahweh tested us and tried us to know Aleph Tav Asher Be Lavivka. He wants to know what's in our hearts, so he puts us through test, trial. That's Nun Samek. Nun Samek is not just be raised up, it's to be put to the test, to be tried, experiment, to know what's in our heart. Times are tough. It's to see whether you'll guard what he said. You got to work on the seventh day? No, don't. Yeah, I have to. Don't. He's just trying to see whether you'll keep his ways. Va ta shamar mitzvot amlo. He wants to see, he's going to put us to the test to see what's in our heart, to see whether we'll do what he said or not. That's verse 2 of Deuteronomy 8. Verse 3. Vav yod ayin nun kaf. Ayin nun, that's the word to humble, oppress, afflict. He's going to afflict Vav yod resh ayin bet kaf, and allow you to hunger with famine and scarcity. Oh, great. Yeah, what a great God we've got, huh? Vav yod aleph kaf lamed kaf. And, he will give you to eat. Aleph tav he mem nun, the manna that was lo yada, unknown, and no knowledge of your fathers, so that ha vav dalet yod ayin kaf hodiaka, he will make known ki lo ha lachem labedo, not by bread alone lives the man, but that al kol mem vav zadi aleph. There's mem zadi like mitzvot, but this is mem zadi aleph. Zadi aleph means export, published, proceeding from the pei Yahweh Yachia ha'adam. Not by bread alone lives the Adam, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of Elohim. Guess what? Every one of those words were in Hebrew. Learn his language, write his words. And if he gives us scarcity because they destroy the food processing plants in the United States for the last couple months, and they put the price of gas so that there's no food on the shelves, the Elohim of Israel in this fantasy world will still provide for us. He'll give us manna to eat. Or the crows and ravens will bring food, or the rabbits will bring pieces of lettuce and carrots. Whatever it might be, he will provide because he said so. Page 10, Deuteronomy 8, verse 19. It exists if Shin Kaf Het, Tav Shin Kaf Het, if forget into oblivion, Aleph Tav Yahweh Eloheka, and walking, following after Elohim Achrim, and worship them and bow down to them, I'm testifying with you today that Aleph Bet Dalet Tav, Aleph Bet Dalet Vav Nun. Ever heard of Abaddon? There was a song, Abaddon's Bolero. It's perished, destroyed, ruin, another name for the devil. Means cut off and ruin. Forget, then destroyed. Abaddon. How important is this stuff? The remedy is the opposite. Remember, learn, seek, pursue. Verse 20. Kagoyim asher Yahweh abandoned mem aleph bet yod dalet from the face, so kan kaf kaf nun. Yes, so truly thus tav aleph bet dalet vav nun. Abandon ayin kuf bet. That's the word Jacob. As a result, the reward for not hearing bekol Yahweh Elohechem. The result, the fruit of not shemaing the voice of Yahweh is Abaddon. Forget, you don't hear, you believe the lie, You get a different God, a different Savior, different terms of covenant, you get cut off. That's what Yahuwah Eloheka has said to us. All right, and then going back to page 11 at the top, referring to Abraham, Genesis 15:6, it says, Vav he Aleph Mem Nun be Yahweh, Vav he Chet Shin Bet he Lamed Vav Zadi Dalet Kuf. We're told it says, and Abraham believed in Yahweh, and it was reckoned to him as righteousness. He believed, didn't have to do anything. He was told to sephir the stars. The word sephir means count, number. Nobody can count them, but it also means connect the dots, tell a story, narrate. It means to shape hair. It means to see what's going on. And it says he believed or trusted or be found to be trustworthy. So when I was just analyzing the word Aleph Mem Nun or Hey Aleph Mem Nun, or that word for an image, a shape, an idol. If you give something a shape, whether it's in the stars, a lizard, reptile, an animal, a fish, a bird, a man, that's somehow betraying Yahuwah. But it says here, he, ketchin bet, regard, consider, ingenious work, arithmetic device, reckoned, calculate, devised, planned, valued, esteemed, accountant, invoice, figured out, summed up to equal. Yahweh wants to be left in this realm of thought, of words, not images, but yet the pictures are images. That's why Stan Tenen wanted, when I talked to him on the phone 10 years, 15 years ago, whatever it was, 20 years, wanted nothing to do with the Paleo-Hebrew. They're glyphs of Canaanite deities. I have to respect that. I think he's wrong, but the point is they're thematic logograms of Yahweh himself. Ox house, camel door. No, he's not those things. It's what those pictures represent. Unto Zadikah, victory, salvation, righteousness, justice, virtue, piety, charity, doing right. Ani Yahweh Elohim Zavot. Who do we trust in? What did he say? To calculate who is Yahuwah, when we're given a painting, when we're given a sculpture, when we're giving a different set of rules, which are no rules, that's not him. So for me to say, my Elohim is Yahweh Zavot, it may not match the description of anybody else's God, of anybody else's religion, of anybody else's philosophy. But I, as a human, was given a mind, was given this language, these letters, this Torah, and my regard of this Torah is my worship, is my faith. And if I'm faithful to what he shows me here, it's my ha-aman, what I will be found to be trustworthy or not. And if somebody says, we can't do anything he said, there's 22 verbs here. There's actually more like about 30. Choose life. Look at what he said. Learn, seek, seize, pursue, assess, evaluate. Learn to read, hear, guard, walk as directed. Love. Do what he said as an expression of love. Obey, know him, have a desire, express praise, thanks, hodu, seek refuge in his name. I can do all these things. Fear him by fearing no other, be his kadoshi courageously, and hope with secure confidence. That's what Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel, requires of his people. Where's the problem? Why did they tell us this was done away with? Okay, time's up. You guys can turn on your microphones and or cameras, say whatever you want, add to, or whatever. It's up to you. Thank you, Abba Yahweh, for giving us your words. Thank you for giving us life at this time. And thank you for letting us understand what you said and what you mean. And thank you that you've put within us the reckoning that it is absolutely the truth and that we have been lied to and that we are not subject to the lie, but we're subject to your overwhelming reality. And thank you for Yeshua that he walked out this path to show us the truth. Thank you. And please bless us.
Amen.